Welcome. My name is Chris. I'm from Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library, and I'm joined today by Nicole and Dave from the Pet Resource Center. How are you all doing?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Doing good. We're so happy to have you here. Now, Pet Resource Center is one of our summer reading partners, and as you can see on the screen, our summer reading program is underway. The theme this year is Tales and Tales. And you can go to our landing page at hcplc.org/summer to learn about all of our things that we have going on. We have so much. We have a lot of great programs, activities. We have our reading challenges, which I'll talk about in just a second. And we have our community partners. Like I said, Pet Resource Center is one of them. And let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about our reading challenge. We have 3 reading challenges this year, one for adults, one for tweens and teens, and one for kids. All you have to do is sign up at hcplc.beanstack.org, register and get started. You can log books. Let's see, kids, teens, and tweens are logging by minutes read, and adults are logging by books read. And you can also complete activities to be eligible to win prizes. So I invite you all to do that. And now on to our program. We are very, very proud to have Pet Resource Center with us today. Their program is Caring for Pets 101, and it's kitten care and pup personalities. Oh, this sounds a lot of fun. And before we do that, yeah, we're looking forward to this. Before we do that, we also like to do a book shout out. We have a couple of ebooks that are available to check out right away through our Hoopla collection. These are the Absolute Beginner's Guides. One's about living with your dog and one's about living with your cat. You can find out all about our ebooks and print books if you go to hcplc.org/books. All right, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop sharing my screen as well, and I'm going to hand things over to Dave and Nicole. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. So my name is Nicole. This is Dave, my partner. We today are going to talk to you guys about kitten care and pup personalities. So as you see in my lap here, I have a little furry friend. So I'm going to start with kittens. So this little kitten is about 1 week old. So he's very little. His eyes are just starting to open. His ears are still flopped over here. So when you find a little kitten like this, it's very important that you see if mom is around. We want to make sure that the mom cat is around because mom will do a lot of things that we don't have to. Mom will keep them warm. Mom will feed them. Mom will give them a bath and clean out their eyes and make sure they feel better when they're not feeling too good. Now, if you don't have mom, some of the things that you're going to want to pay attention to, especially for a little kitten this little, is they need to stay warm. That's one of the most important things. So what we create here at the shelter is we call this a warmie, and it's an old sock. Well, it's not old, it's new sock, but it's a sock, and we put rice in it. And you can put this in the microwave for about a minute, and it gets nice and warm, and you can lay it right next to the kitten so they can stay warm if their mom is not around. Some of the other things that's important about a kitten is they need to eat food. So with a kitten, we have what's called kitten milk. There's a little kitten on the front of this. It's just almost like if you have a baby brother or sister and mom makes a bottle for them, the kittens go the same way. So we take this milk, we have a little bottle for them, and then the kitten can eat out of this bottle. Now, when they get a little bit older, not all kittens need to have kitten milk. When they get older, they can start to eat food. And I have a special guest in here. This little girl's name is Tina, and Tina likes to play. So little Tina in here has a couple different toys, and she's got a little cat toy, and she also has a litter box in here that she can go in. There she goes. So when kittens get a little bit bigger, this little girl is about 3 weeks old. So when she gets a little bit bigger like this, she can start to eat her food and she can start to have lots of water and she'll start to play with some toys. And it's very exciting because now about 3 weeks old up to 8 weeks old, they're very playful and they can play with their toys. This is a cat carrier, and it's very important that you have one of these because that way your pet can go in here and it's safe. So they can travel, they can go in the car with you, and you don't have to worry about them escaping or trying to get out of the car when it's driving down the road. Once they get all the way to 8 weeks old, which is 2 months, they can start to have hard food. So this is kitten hard food. And then they can crunch instead of eating the wet food. Blankets are important. A nice little bed is important. So animals are just like humans and they're just like little brothers and sisters. They like to play with toys. It's very important that they eat and they have lots of water and then they stay warm. So it's all the same things that we like to do. The next thing that we're going to talk about is we are going to play a little video of how to meet a dog. And Dave is going to do the video and then we're going to talk about it after that.
Hi, my name is Dave from the Pet Resource Center. This is my friend Crystal. And today what we're going to do is we're going to show you the 6 things that you should do before you meet any dog. So the first thing that you always want to do before you meet a dog is you want to ask the owner's permission. Hi, can I pet your dog?
Yes, of course.
Don't make eye contact with the dog and approach the dog very slowly. You want to get down on the dog's level, so you want to bend down slowly. Wait for the dog to approach you and pet the dog gently and pay attention to body language.
Hi, how is everybody today? So as you can see, or maybe you can't see,
We're trying.
we have one of our stars of the show, much like Crystal. We have Ivy in the room. Ivy is one of my foster dogs that just came back to the shelter. So she's a little bit shy today, but she is beautiful and she is up for adoption. So if you're interested in adopting Ivy, reach out to us. So we're basically going to go with 3 topics today, 3 topics that are especially important at the Pet Resource Center. The reason why it's so important at the Pet Resource Center to have meet and greet go well is because we introduce thousands of people to thousands of different dogs. And basically, every single one of those interactions that we have are people meeting new dogs. So we're going to go over, once again, how to properly meet a new dog, right? What's the right way to meet and greet a dog? We're going to go over the wrong way to meet and greet a dog. And then what I'm going to talk about, because we're talking about pup personalities, is we're going to talk a little bit about the way that dogs speak to you. And we all know that dogs can't really talk, right? But dogs can utilize what's called body language. So they basically tell us what they want us to know, and they basically communicate their emotions through things that you can watch them do. So by watching a dog's body language, that will give you an idea how to best interact with a dog. Okay. So we're going to recap the right way to meet a dog. First and foremost, what's most important is always ask permission. Okay, so if you have somebody that's out and they're walking their dog, never go rushing up to the dog. always ask permission. You don't want to make direct eye contact with a dog. You sort of like glance away. Dogs don't feel real comfortable if you're like glaring at them. The next thing that's super, super important, and you would see that especially with a dog like Ivy, is to just really approach very, very slowly. And then another thing that we always tell everybody to do that's important is get down on one knee. So if you get down on one knee and you bring your level down, a dog doesn't see you as big and scary. Okay, so you go to one knee and then you let the dog approach you. Okay, a lot of the times when we're at the shelter, people will say to me, they're like, the dog doesn't like me. It isn't that the dog doesn't like you. It's like you when you're going to meet a new friend. The dog just doesn't know you. So one of the best ways to let a dog get to know you is approach them slowly, let them come to you, let them pick up your scent, be patient. Then when the dog comes to you, you do just like Nicole is doing here, you just pet gently. Dogs love to be petted. But you pet gently, you can see what Nicole's doing. She's petting across the back. It's important to pet across the back. A lot of people, dogs aren't really, really super comfortable when you go and you try to pet them on the head or you lean over to pet them. So always pet from the back. And the last thing that you always want to do when you're interacting with a dog is pay attention to the body language that we're going to be speaking about towards the end of this presentation. So basically, when you're meeting and you're greeting a dog, the dog is going to tell you how it's feeling. And right now, even Ivy needs to warm up a little bit. You can see her head's down a little, her tail's tucked a little bit. That means she's not entirely comfortable. One of the reasons why she's not entirely comfortable is she's new to the shelter today. Okay, so now what we want to do, we talked about the right way to go and meet and greet a dog. There's also this wrong way. And, you know, I think I want you to sort of think about what you feel comfortable with when you meet people, right? So the first thing is avoid running up or rushing to the dog. And I know that you might be excited when you see a dog, but just think of it this way. Like when you go and you meet a new friend, right? If they come and they're running up to you and they're swinging their arms and they're being really loud, does that make you feel comfortable? It might make you shy away a lot. And that's what you'll see when he's with a dog if you run up to them too quickly. And what you're going to see most commonly, what you don't want to have happen, is you're going to see the dog even might try to run away. You don't want a dog to run away. You don't want a dog to run away from the dog. Or the dog might get really, really scared and come towards you in what might be an aggressive manner, which we don't want either, okay? The next thing is, we talked about not leaning over a dog. If you lean over a dog's head, basically you make yourself big and scary and you make it look like you're gonna go to catch the dog. Dogs don't want to be caught. They don't want to be confined. So don't approach like that. And a lot of people do that. When I'm doing meet and greets at the shelter, people, their first inclination is they want to go like this to meet the dog. A lot of people will try to lean in and try to grab a dog by the head. That's the absolute worst thing to do. You never want to grab a dog by the head, and you never want to bring your face directly with the dog's face. Another thing is that's really, really important is if the dog doesn't look really comfortable with you, if the dog's doing some of the things that I talked about, puts its head down, gives a little snarl, the tail's tucked, what I always do and what I always tell people during meet and greets is just move back from the dog. If you move back from the dog, what that's called is called relieving pressure. And when you relieve pressure, you'll see the dog will immediately become more comfortable. And at that point, if you relieve pressure, maybe in a couple of minutes, you can come back and the dog's going to be more comfortable with it. The body language can change, okay? So what I always want when you're meeting a dog is pay attention to whether it's a happy dog, and we're going to show you what a happy dog looks like, whether it's a worried or anxious dog, you know, just teetering that skin, or if it's an angry and like a really, really super scared dog. Okay, so remember, dogs can't talk to us. The way that dogs to us, or the way that a dog is going to tell you what it wants, is it's going to tell you by sort of the way that it's moving. I think is the best way to describe this. So there's 3 ways that we categorize how a dog is feeling. I categorize it as the happy dog, a worried dog, and an angry or a very unhappy dog. Okay. Basically, in any situation except for the happy dog situation, you want to give the dog space. Okay, that's the rule of thumb. Until a dog shows you that it's comfortable and that it's a happy dog, give it space. Sometimes it takes some time to meet a dog. And that's another thing that I always tell people at the shelter when they're meeting a new dog, and they'll say to me, well, the dog's not paying attention to me. And I'll say, just be patient, give it a couple of moments, and ultimately you'll see that a lot of times that worried dog will turn into the happy dog as it becomes more comfortable with you. Okay. So a happy dog, what's a happy dog look like? A happy dog will be sitting at ease. Often it'll be sitting upwards. Another thing that I always look for to identify a happy dog is the mouth will be open, mouth will be nice and loose, ears will be loose. Of course, everybody knows that a dog wagging its tail back and forth, like really quickly, and maybe even like a playful bow. You can see like number 2, dog will go like this and bounce around a little bit. That's another sign of a dog that's in that happy state and is going to be okay for you to approach, as long as what do you have to do before you approach the dog now? You have to ask for permission. Right? Yep. Even if the dog looks like a happy dog, ask for permission first. Okay. The worried dog. The worried dog is really, really important to be aware of, because, and especially when we're talking about in the shelter, we see a lot of worried dogs, don't we?
Yep.
You know, they come in.
They're very scared. They don't know what's going to happen. This could be a very scary place for them.
There's a lot of other dogs around. You know, think of it as when a dog comes into the shelter, think about how you feel the first day of school, right? Like, let's say you're the new kid at school, and basically when a dog first comes into the shelter, that dog is the new kid. So they'll be like, and think about yourself, right? You go into a new classroom, and you know, the kids are running around, you know, you don't feel really comfortable. Everybody knows each other, and you're sort of like the odd person out. Well, that's how our dogs feel here. And the way that they tell you that, or sort of the visual cues that you want to pay attention to. And what we see most frequently with our dogs is if you can see Ivy. Okay, so well, Ivy right now isn't entirely comfortable because it's one of her first days back in the shelter. And so she has her tail tucked behind her. You can see that in the first picture, what it looks like, tail tucked behind the dog. The next thing is Ivy's head is down. Her head isn't real high. She's licking her chops a little. She might yawn a little bit. That's telling us that she's not comfortable and she's a little bit anxious. So that's like literally one of the most important things that we look at whenever we do a meet and greet. And one of the things that we always coach potential adopters to is when you see a dog in this state, let them move into the happy state. So be patient, watch your dog, and just watch that transformation occur when they go from a worried dog to a happy dog because they start to trust you. A lot of times what we'll do, what do you think, Nicole, is one way that we can sort of help a dog go from being a worried dog to a happy dog?
I think definitely you should give it some time and let it get comfortable to you. But like what Dave was saying earlier, getting down on their level and just going very slow and talking very clearly and slowly can make a dog definitely feel less anxious and make them want to play some more and want to get to know you or the foster or adopter better.
I'm going to give you one other great way. So a lot of times if you don't feel good, right? If I was going to give you an ice cream sundae,
There you go.
you might start feeling good, right?
I like treats.
Would an ice cream sundae make you happy?
That would make me happy.
Well, we don't give our dogs ice cream sundaes, but we do give our dogs lots of treats.
Yep.
And one of the best ways to make a worried dog into a happy dog is sharing a treat.
Yep.
You know, and a lot of the times what we'll do is, especially with dogs worried, we'll take treats, throw them on the ground, and it's pretty amazing to see how quickly a worried dog can turn into a happy dog with a little bit of pepperoni, right?
Yeah, we've made some friends with some pepperonis.
So we have lots of dog treats at the shelter, and that's one of the things that we do during meet and greets is we'll make sure that we have pockets full of treats. And you know, another thing that we do is it's really, really important to us that a dog knows how to gently take a treat. So as part of the meet and greet process, one of the things that we sort of test out is we'll test out if a dog is going to be real gentle when it takes a treat.
Yeah.
So if a dog's going to be gentle, we test it out, and that's the ideal, is one of our dogs will be in a happy state and have the opportunity to just come and gently accept a treat from your hand. And that's a great way to establish trust with a dog.
Yep, it is. Thank you so much, Dave. That was some awesome information. We wanted to see if any of our viewers had any questions for us, or that was
Yeah.
presentation.
That was a great presentation. Thank you so much. We do have a few questions. We have time for a few here, so we'll try and squeeze them in. I wanted to point out you did provide some PDFs for our audience. Do you want to talk a little bit about? We have a handout section in our control panel where there's some PDFs there that they've provided for us today.
Yeah, so everything that Dave went over today, we have everything that was shown on your screen as well. We have available for a PDF download. Also for our kittens, we have every week of what they look like and what they should be learning and doing and exploring and how a kitten ages, as well as some of the supplies they'll need. We also put on our foster application. So if you or your parents or anybody in your family wants to be a foster for one of our dogs or for some of our little kittens, if you fill that out, email it back to us. We will definitely be in contact to get you some little furry friends to keep.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. All right. So we have a few questions. Someone wants to know what the very little kitten that you showed earlier. Is there a name for that cat right now?
Not yet. I'll go get her though. Hold on.
So tiny. I haven't figured out a name yet. While she's getting the kitten, I guess here's a dog question. Someone says, oh, someone's sharing that they have a dog with them right now, and its name is Cream Puff. So a dog is watching the program.
Hi, Cream Puff. So here's the little kitten.
Oh, look at that.
Little 1-week-old kitten. And see, his ears are still a little bit down. They haven't quite come up yet. And he's a little guy for sure. His tail's under here.
Oh, adorable.
Yet his eyes just opened about, when kittens are born, their eyes will open when they're about 3 or 4 days old.
I see.
So his eyes just opened a few days ago. Oh, here he comes. And now he's starting to explore now.
Awesome. Oh, someone just added the dog Cream Puff that they mentioned was also a foster dog. And someone is saying they just got a puppy who's 10 weeks old.
Cool.
And they want to know how you teach them not to bite. This one is biting their pants. Is there a little tip you can share for that?
Well, that's probably, if your puppy is nibbling at your pants, it's probably because they are teething. So puppies, kittens teeth just like humans, babies do. So just make sure that your dog has plenty of bones or toys to chew on because their gums hurt. And so the toys, they can chew on those toys and that will help with the pain, and they won't get your pants. They won't put holes in your pants.
And to add to that, I was going to say enrichment is one of the things that we provide for dogs. And basically, enrichment makes it so a dog isn't bored, or it can direct its activity at something else. So instead of like pulling on your pants, if you give the dog a bone or you give it a toy, that'll replace pulling on your pants.
Give them something to do.
Awesome. All right, and I guess our last one is, you mentioned the meet and greets. Is there a special process for, is there like an appointment, or can people just come down, and how does that work?
We do by appointment only. So you would go to the Hillsborough County Pet Resource website and create an appointment. You select which dog you'd like to meet, and one of our animal care assistants will help with the meet and greet. And that's where you can practice some of those skills that we taught you today.
Also, I want to mention on the foster application that you can download, there's an email on there. It's fosterpets@hillsboroughcounty.org. But it's on that application. You can always email us, ask us any questions. Dave and I will answer it, even if it's anything. Shoot us an email. We'll be able to help you guys out.
Well, that's great. We are so happy to have you with us today to see all these cute animals and all this valuable information. And we're also very happy to be partnering with you on summer readings. So thank you for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and bring up our closing slide here. Now, if you'd like to contact the library, you can call the number here on the screen, 813-273-3652, or go online at hcplc.org/contact. And again, our summer reading website is hcplc.org/summer. All right, Nicole and Dave and all the cute animals, we really enjoyed your company this afternoon, and we enjoyed the presentation. We'll see everyone soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. See you soon.